Okay, so let's take a look at how to make an animated number wheel, kind of like this one here. So to do that, let's go into, in this case, Keynote, but the same things apply to PowerPoint. The principle is the same. And the way to do it is pretty much the same. So if we have a slide like this, let's say I'm in class, it's actually a video behind there. I asked the question, average distance between the Earth and the moon. Let's say we could use an animated GIF. Let's go up there and land on the moon. But how many kilometers is it from the moon to the Earth? Or from the Earth to the moon. So this is where we could put in a scroll wheel like this, and then students are giving their guesses without using Google or chat, and then we can show the number. Let's do it unit of measurement. We'll do it in kilometers, and they're anticipating, and boom, there's the number. And of course, we can put in miles too. Okay, so why this might seem kind of random. Why am I asking when did the Trailblazers and the NBA have their last championship? What year was that? Okay, and there we go, in 1977. And the reason I'm showing basketball is because having a scroll wheel like this is kind of like when someone makes a 3-point shot, that last minute 3-point shot, and there's that moment after they shoot that has this anticipation of, that's interesting. Is it going to go in? Is it not going to go in? This kind of thing. So that's why I use the scroll wheel to kind of get a better student engagement. For example, if I asked students in a history class, in what year did the Meiji era begin? And they're kind of thinking about it. Yes, after they think about it a while, I can show the answer. So there's that little bit anticipatory, feeling you have when it's just scrolling by. Anyway, let me show you just very quickly how I did that. So I went ahead of time and type this out. So the first thing you do is just type the numbers out that you want. It could be 3 numbers or 4 numbers or 2 or whatever, but just from 0 to 9. I like to put a 0 after the 9 again. But anyway, you can do it however you want. And I've done this before. So all this is you get your numbers and you lay them out as you like. But then what you do is you put, I'll just change the colors of these so you can see what I did. So all these are shapes, above. I've just filled in right here. But I make it the same color as the background so that it blends in. And then if the numbers move, they're going to disappear. So it gives the illusion that there's a sort of a scroll wheel here. So all you do is you duplicate that, as I've done here. And then if you move the wheel, so I'll just kind of move some numbers, hold shift key down, hold the mouse down and then shift, I find, so it doesn't, and then you can just change it, to whatever you want. So I'll just change a few of these. Just for example, and if you want to make sure that they're lined up correctly, you could get a lot, do a guide like that. But it looks pretty good. So as long as under animation, you make sure a magic move is on, and you can adjust the time, how fast or slow you want it. But now when we play it, we go from this to this. So that's the principle. I mean, it's very straightforward. Let's do it something like this with a photo in the background. And I'll show you something about this. So, here's the question. Random question for boomers out there. So, Sugar Sugar by the Archies was this year's #1 song. So, what year was that? The class is thinking, and that year was, of course, 1969, right? Sugar Sugar by the Archies. Okay, so how do I do that using a photograph in this case? So, I do have, see, the numbers are kind of disappearing. And the way you do that is I'll just do it right here. So, I did this ahead of time. So, there are our numbers, let's say, for example, and all we do is we take the photo that we're using and copy it and paste it, and then we do it for the top and the bottom. So just go to Format, Image, Edit, and then right about there, let's say that's where I want my numbers to be. So I got the top one. I just do it again. It's already in the memory, so I just paste it again. This time, I do it from the top. And something like that, right? So now when we move it, you can see that it disappears. Let me play this in PowerPoint, and you might notice something a little bit different because I did something differently that you can't do in Keynote. So did you notice this? I'll just do it again. I'll stop it. So right here, you see that it's actually a very smooth transition. There's a little bit of a blur on the edges, or a smooth edge. So, right, these edges are smooth. So it's just kind of a nice effect that it can disappear. And of course, how you do that in Keynote, you can't do that. We used to have the soft edges, and they took it away for some reason. But in PowerPoint on Mac or on Windows, you can soften the edges to give it that. It's just kind of a cool effect. It isn't necessary, but it's kind of nice, especially if you have a lot of kind of bokeh in the background anyway. All right, so let's look at some just more examples. So please hang on, and I'll just show you some of the things that how I use it in class. So just as an example, let's say you're doing the history of the web. You could ask a question like this: When did Tim Berners-Lee, a British scientist, when did he invent the World Wide Web? Invent is I'm using loosely here, but anyway, yeah. So what year was that? We studied this a few weeks ago, but that year was 1989. Just different ways you could do it. Then this is according to CERN anyway. Then you could go on with the presentation. But let's look at different ways to do that. Or you could do it this way. You see the white boxes, the white strips are giving us the effect in this case. Again, and then you could. It's kind of a wordy slide, but you could do something like that, or in this case, I can't edit the video. I can't crop a video like we can in a video editing software, but I can just take a screenshot of it, and then the top and the bottom are just photos from that screenshot. So it gives us a space then to put in the numbers, and it gives it the illusion of a scroll wheel. We could do something like this. It's very simple, right? It's just a white border on the top and the bottom for this. Same thing, right? So we could do it slower. Any speed that you want. That's one way to do it. And this way, I put a border around the scroll wheel just to give the illusion of a scroll wheel. Again, we're asking the Earth's circumference. Students write their answers down, and then there's that little anticipatory, feeling as we display the number. Are they correct or not? Let's say we want to a little bit different. Let's say we're just going to go through some of the solar system in terms of how long does it take light to reach the Earth from some of the planets or the sun. So how long does it take sunlight to reach Earth? Right? So in this case, the numbers are in the form of, say, minutes and seconds. And they're guessing their answers, and then we display it, 8 minutes and 20 seconds. Right? And then we can go through all the planets. Again, just using in PowerPoint, what's called the morph between slides, or the magic move. So how long does it take light from Mercury to reach Earth? And then there are the answers. On average. Of course, that varies. In this case, Venus. How long does it take light from Venus to reach Earth? On average, right? And then something different here. The moon, of course, is very close. So how long does it take? Remember, we learned before that it's how far away it is. So in terms of distance, in terms of light, it takes about 1.3 seconds for the light bouncing off from the sun, bouncing off the moon to hit Earth. And then we could go on and on, right? For Mars and so on. Let's say something different. Let's say we're in a history class, just hypothetically. So we could do something like this. When was the Meiji period? Remember, we learned it started in 1868 and it ended officially in 1912. That's the Meiji period. There's Emperor Meiji. Just as an example. Attack on Pearl Harbor. Everyone kind of remembers December 7th. They might forget the year, which was 1941. Or the date of the Great Kanto earthquake. Right, we can just flip through some photos from the aftermath, and then the date of that, September 1st, 1923. And how I did that is, this is just an overlay, which I got from Motion Array. You can make your own, or they have them you can Google them just to get overlays. And it has an alpha channel on it, which in Keynote works. I'm not sure if that'll work in PowerPoint, but the alpha channel does work in Keynote. At least this year it does. I hope it keeps still working, because it's kind of a retro effect. And then underneath here is just, again, it was a photograph. So that means there's the original photo in the back, and then there's all the dates, the numbers, and then I just matched it up here. Anyway, after that, then we can just continue on. You could do kind of a scroll effect like this. And you can even do it in something like this. All right, that was kind of fast and furious, but if you have any questions about how to do a scroll wheel or animated numbers like I've done here, just let me know. All right, thanks a lot.